Welcome to the Forgotten Corners of America. Today, we explore some of the most haunted ghost towns in the United States, where history, mystery, and the paranormal collide. These towns hide secrets that still haunt the living, their empty streets and decaying buildings holding echoes of a time long past. They are more than just abandoned places. They are silent monuments to boom and bust, to tragedy and hope, and to the lives that were abruptly left behind. From the dusty deserts of the West to the overgrown hills of the East, each ghost town has a story to tell, a story whispered on the wind to those who are brave enough to listen. Join us as we step into the shadows and uncover the chilling tales of America's most haunted ghost towns, where the past is never truly dead. Are these towns merely relics of history, or are unseen forces still lingering in the quiet dark? Our journey begins in the desolate, sun-scorched landscape of Nevada, a state littered with the skeletal remains of towns that once thrived on the promise of gold and silver. Here we find Rhyolite, a town that boomed and busted with spectacular speed. Founded in 1905 during the last Great Gold Rush, Rhyolite's population swelled to nearly 10,000 in just a few years. It boasted a 3-story bank, a stock exchange, an opera house, and even a symphony. But the veins of gold ran dry almost as quickly as they were discovered. The devastating 1906 San Francisco earthquake and the financial panic of 1907 sealed its fate. By 1916, the power was turned off, and by 1920, Rhyolite was completely deserted. The town's rapid decline left behind a sense of unfinished business, a collective sigh of disappointment that seems to hang in the arid air. The shell of the Cook Bank building stands as a tombstone for a city of dreams, its windows like vacant eyes staring out into the empty desert. The most famous structure, the Tom Kelly Bottle House, was built from over 50,000 discarded bottles, a testament to the town's once vibrant life. Now, it stands as a fragile monument in a city of gold. But it's the legends that truly keep Rhyolite alive. Visitors and paranormal investigators report a host of unexplained phenomena. The most persistent story is that of Mona Bell, a young woman who was brutally murdered in the town's early days. Her spirit is said to wander the ruins, forever searching for her killer, or perhaps just lamenting her stolen future. People claim to hear her sorrowful cries echoing through the empty streets after dark. Others speak of shadowy figures darting between the crumbling walls of the old general store and the train depot. Eerie, disembodied voices are often captured on electronic voice phenomena recordings, whispering names and warnings from a time long gone. The wind whistling through the broken panes of glass can sound unnervingly like a human sigh, a constant reminder of the thousands of souls who gambled everything and lost it all in this desolate corner of the Nevada desert. As you stand among the ruins, you can't help but feel that you are not alone, that the dreams and despairs of Rhyolite's former residents are imprinted on the very land itself. Next, we travel east to the misty mountains of Pennsylvania, to a town with a story so tragic it's been burning for over 60 years, Centralia. Unlike the boom and bust towns of the West, Centralia wasn't abandoned due to greed, but because of an unstoppable underground fire. In May 1962, a routine fire set to burn trash in an abandoned strip mine pit ignited a massive underlying anthracite coal seam. The fire was impossible to extinguish, and it has been smoldering beneath the town ever since, releasing toxic gases like carbon monoxide through fissures in the earth. The ground became hot to the touch, roads buckled and split open, and sinkholes appeared without warning, swallowing anything in their path. For 2 decades, residents tried to coexist with the subterranean inferno. But by the 1980s, the government deemed the town uninhabitable. Nearly all of Centralia's 1,000 residents were relocated, and their homes were demolished, leaving behind a grid of empty streets slowly being reclaimed by nature. Today, Centralia is a modern-day ghost town, a chilling landscape of cracked pavement and eerie silence, with steam and smoke still venting from the scarred earth. The infamous graffiti highway, a stretch of the abandoned Route 61, became a canvas for visitors to leave their mark, though it has since been covered with dirt to deter trespassers. Yet, the legends of Centralia are not just of fire and smoke. They are tales of a community erased. Locals who refused to leave spoke of an unsettling atmosphere, a feeling of being watched by the ghosts of the town that once was. Some paranormal investigators believe the very ground is haunted, charged with the emotional turmoil of families forced to abandon their homes. They report seeing apparitions of former residents walking the empty streets, forever tethered to the properties they lost. Strange lights have been seen floating over the vacant lots where houses once stood, and eerie whispers are said to rise up from the steaming fissures in the ground, carried on the sulfur-scented wind. Centralia is a stark, living horror story, a town literally being consumed from below, its tragic history burning endlessly into the future. Our expedition then takes us to the rugged heart of Montana, to a place where lawlessness and vigilante justice left an indelible stain. Founded in 1862 after a major gold strike on Grasshopper Creek, Bannack quickly became the first territorial capital of Montana. But with the promise of wealth came a dark underbelly of crime and corruption. The town was plagued by a ruthless gang of road agents known as the Innocents, who were responsible for robbing and murdering over 100 travelers. In a terrifying twist, the leader of this gang was none other than the town's own sheriff, Henry Plummer. When the citizens finally uncovered the truth, they formed a vigilante committee known as the Montana Vigilantes. In a swift and brutal wave of frontier justice in early 1864, they rounded up and hanged Plummer and over 20 of his men, many from the gallows that Plummer himself had built. After this violent chapter, Bannack began to fade. The gold dwindled, and the capital was moved to Virginia City. The last resident left in the 1970s, and today, Bannack is preserved as a state park, with over 60 structures still standing in a state of arrested decay. To walk the dusty main street of Bannack is to step directly into the Old West, but many believe the spirits of its violent past have never left. The town is considered one of Montana's most haunted locations, with paranormal activity reported in numerous buildings. The Hotel Meade, once the Beaverhead County Courthouse where Plummer presided, is a hotspot for ghostly encounters. Visitors and staff have reported seeing the spectral figure of a young girl in a blue dress, believed to be the spirit of a child who drowned in a nearby creek. Her laughter is sometimes heard echoing in the empty hallways, and her apparition has been seen peering out of the second-story windows. At the old schoolhouse, people claim to hear disembodied voices and the sound of children playing long after the sun has set. But the most chilling presence is said to be that of Henry Plummer and his gang. Their tormented spirits are believed to haunt the sites of their executions, particularly the gallows. Shadowy figures have been seen lurking near the hanging tree, and a heavy, oppressive feeling often descends upon those who stand in the spot where justice or vengeance was served. Bannock is a ghost town where the echoes of gunfire and the ghosts of outlaws linger, a powerful reminder that some histories are too violent to ever be laid to rest. Finally, we head to the deep south, to the bayous of Louisiana, where the ghost town of Ruddock tells a story of nature's fury. Founded in the late 19th century as a logging town by the Ruddock Cypress Company, this small community was built right on the shores of Lake Moore. For a time, it was a bustling hub with a school, a church, and over 1,000 residents, but its precarious location made it vulnerable. In September 1915, a catastrophic category for hurricane, known as the New Orleans Hurricane of 1915, slammed into the Louisiana coast. The storm surge that swept in from the lake was devastating. Ruddock was completely wiped off the map, its wooden buildings obliterated by wind and water. Nearly every man, woman, and child in the town perished, with only a handful of survivors managing to cling to floating debris. The town was never rebuilt, and its story was largely swallowed by the swamp, becoming a local legend whispered with fear and reverence. Today, all that remains of Ruddock are a few skeletal cypress pilings jutting out of the murky water in a small, overgrown cemetery on a patch of high ground accessible only by boat. It is here, among the weathered tombstones, that the town's haunted legacy endures. Fishermen and boaters who venture near the site of the old town report a plethora of paranormal experiences. They speak of seeing strange, glowing orbs of light, known as few follet or swamp lights, dancing over the water where the town once stood. Many believe these are the lost souls of the hurricane victims, forever searching for their homes. The disembodied cries of women and children are said to drift across the lake on still nights, a chilling echo of the storm's terror. Some have even claimed to see full-bodied apparitions walking on the water's surface before vanishing into the mist. The Ruddock Cemetery is considered a place of intense spiritual energy. Visitors report feeling sudden drops in temperature, hearing unexplained whispers in the dense foliage, and capturing EVPs of voices pleading for help. Ruddock is a ghost town created not by economic bust, but by a single terrifying act of God, its spirit forever trapped in the dark, alligator-infested waters of the Louisiana swamp. From the sun-bleached ruins of the West to the smoldering grounds of Pennsylvania and the haunted swamps of the South, these towns are more than just empty spaces. They are silent witnesses to history, holding the memories, tragedies, and unresolved stories of those who lived and died there. The echoes of their lives, their laughter, the sorrow, the ambition, and the despair seem to cling to the very air, blurring the line between the past and the present. Are these towns truly abandoned? Or do unseen forces still linger? As we wander through their ruins, every creaking door, strange noise, and shadowy corner reminds us that some places never truly let go of the past. Which of these haunted towns would you dare to explore? Comment below and share your thoughts. If you dare.